Hello, welcome back. Once again, Pastor Thumb shooting another video. Today's a little different. This one I'm shooting about, I was asked on one of my videos, asked to make a video about what to do, how to invest as an 18-year-old. As an 18-year-old, when I was in that situation, finished off high school, then went off to college. So I was about 17 when I finished high school. My birthday was right after that, so went off to college, and not until after college, that's when somebody told me about, hey, you need to start investing. And that's actually when I joined the Army. I did the 5-year plan in college. I spent a lot of time. I didn't have the opportunity to use, my phone to trade. I didn't have the opportunity to use my computer to trade. I had to call it in, or mail off the information. I'm a little bit older, so I'm not a millennial. But I think, some tips I can give you right now, I think will be really helpful, especially if you're a young investor or just getting ready to get started off, or if you're not even ready to start investing, But, first thing you got to do, you got to pay yourself first. A lot of people talk about that. A lot of people don't talk about it, but you've got to make investing part of it's like your bill. You pay yourself first, and then once you do that, once you get it all set up, you won't miss it. And when you do that, it'll really help out later on because you'll build up a big nest egg, and it'll do really well for you. The next one is you got to have goals. In high school, I wanted a BMW, right? This is my second BMW. The first one I had, a 535i, had it for about 10 years, traded in for this one. I want something sexier, but when you have a family, you kind of have to have some big, some spacious. So you kind of make sacrifices, but it's all worth it, But you've got to make sure you have the money to afford stuff like this. If you don't have the money for it, it's going to be harder for you to do that, and you're going to end up turning your car into the used car lot the next year. So make sure you budget. You got to have a budget, a really good budget. First, you got to be able to pay your bills, invest, pay your bills. If you tithe, and but you've got to do that stuff. If you don't do that stuff, it's gonna be really hard to keep up. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, as they say. Same thing if you have credit cards. You make sure you're paying off that credit card debt, monthly. Don't let it drag on 2, 3, 4, even years down the road. You want to pay off that debt as soon as you can. If you let it go, you've got to plan it out though. You've got to say, hey, if I get paid this month, but I'll have this much money left over. But you've got to think, and you probably buy something that costs a little bit more, you don't have the savings for it or whatever. Yeah, you can probably let it slip another month or two if you have to. But you want to make that a habit, okay? You want to pay off the bill as soon as you can. That'll really help you out a lot and allow you to put more money into your investing. When it comes to investing, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I'm sure a lot of my viewers here probably made mistakes. And you really can't time the market. Sometimes you can't time the market. You gotta be a long-term investor. That's what I am. I'm a long-term investor. Some things I will sell quickly. If the market changes, or if the stock changes its goal, or if it becomes too much competition. Like for instance, I bought Fitbit. I bought Fitbit right when it came out, when it IPO'd. It was doing well, shot up a lot. I made some money, but I got out of it because I saw Apple was trying to come up with their trying to compete with it. I think it was probably their iWatch or iPhone, whatever at the time, or I can't remember. I'm not an Apple user, but it was something around that time, and I figured, let me sell out of this. So I sold out of it. I made like a 35-40% gain. And now you see, look at Fitbit now. Fitbit's only trading for pennies on the dollar. It's not really up there anymore. So you got to be able to switch habits quickly. Recognize the signs, recognize the warning signs. I'm not really a chart guy. I look at more of the fundamentals of the company, competition going around. But you can see it on the news a lot of times when you read about it, and you can say, hey, if this company is going to come in with this similar device, you got to think, maybe I should probably sell and get out. Especially when your stock is going down. It's trying to decrease at the time. But you got to stay focused on what your goal is. Even like with the condition now, with the CV going on, you've got to still keep investing no matter what happens. There's going to be a lot of, you may not be old enough to invest now, you may be investing now, but these things happen every few years, give or take every 10 to 10 years. I don't know what the exact number is, but the economy, the stock market will go through a correction, and then that's when you got to be prepared for it. I've talked about in my other videos. I kept saying the stock market's overheated. It's going to cool off. It's going to correct, and that's what we're going through right now. It's correcting, and you've got to have money set aside for times like that. That's why I pulled some money out. I'd sold some stocks about 2 years, give or take, and so I had money set aside just for times like this. I bought some stocks up to this point, but I haven't spent all of that extra cash I have sitting on the sideline because I have a feeling the stock market is going to go a lot lower. But I am picking up stocks here and there when they're discounted prices. They're in pretty good shape, some of them. So nobody can really time the market. That's the key thing. You can't time the market, but sometimes when the market's been going up forever and you see little warning signs every once in a while, you got to think eventually the stock market's going to correct, and be able to have money set aside for times like this. Because I've seen some fellow YouTubers saying, "I wish I had more money." I don't have to say that. I don't have to say I wish I had more money. I wish I had more money so I can invest more, but I do have a good amount. I had about a tenth of my portfolio almost in cash, and then I sold Tesla a few weeks ago or a month ago, something like that. But I made some gains off Tesla. Tesla did very well for me. I'll probably get back in it again, but right now the market's just going crazy, and I've got to give it at least 30 days for you don't want to the mind slips right now, but you don't want to you can't buy and sell something within 30 days and pick it back, or less than 30 days and pick it back up again, because you're going to break all the tax laws, and then you're going to get slammed for that, and you might be penalized. So you got to be careful. So I had a high-paying job, when I was in the Army. Just like anything, when you're working for whatever company you may work for, you're going to start at the bottom. You got to work your up and up and up, and then eventually, the money will start coming after that. I didn't start off making a lot of money when I started in the Army, but eventually it paid me very well. So you got to put in the hard work, and do your best, and you'll be rewarded for it. Whatever job may be, it doesn't have to be the Army. It can be any job, whatever it may be. And I've seen figures for people working at Walmart can make 6 figures a year as a manager, but you've got to put in the hard work to get up there, because nothing in life is easy. All right, nothing is going to take you to 6 figures overnight. Nothing's going to take you to a millionaire overnight. Anything you do, you got to put in the hard work to get there. All right. Another one, you've got to study. Anything with investing, I think it's like a lifelong learning process, because no matter how much you know, how much you learn, there's going to be new things that are going to come out. You've got to continue to keep learning. You got to keep working on yourself, refining your skills, and just become a better person out of that. If you haven't seen, I've talked about, I read a lot of reading, and you got to do a lot of reading or however it may be now. It could be watching videos as well. Whatever works best for you for learning, that's going to really pay off in the end. Also, you got to spend time. You got to spend on your, health is wealth. If you're not healthy, whatever wealth you may accumulate, build, it's going to not really last you as long as you want it to. So you've got to spend some time to working out. I try to work out 3 times a week. Sometimes it'll be up to 5, especially when hop in the pool when the weather gets warmer. I used to do a lot of running. I don't like to run as much now, but sometimes I will with my kids. But other than that, I won't run, for the most part. So spend the time to work out. You got to find the time of the day that'll work out for you. It doesn't have to be hours, working out. I'll spend maybe 40 minutes at the gym, and, I'm done. I get everything in, do my gym workout, and I'll hop on the car, do some cardio as well on the treadmill, elliptical, bike, whatever it may be. But anything with investing, it's not an overnight thing. It's not like playing the lottery. And investing is a long-term game. You've got to look, where do you want to be in your 60s or 50s or your 40s, whatever it may be. If you want to be, go for the FIRE movement, that's great. But you've got to make some sacrifice when you do that. I wouldn't call myself a FIRE advocate 100%, but I probably had huge goals, in my 20s. So I was I was probably doing the FIRE movement, but not everything to the T in the FIRE movement. But I was doing pretty well, I thought. Pretty much paying yourself first, being pretty frugal in whatever you're buying, because you don't need to buy everything. You need to buy things you need, not things you want. So that's the key thing. You got to buy things you need, not what you want, because the things you want, that's really going to it's going to really hurt you. It's going to hurt your finances. It's going to set you far behind. It's going to lead you with a lot of credit card debt, a lot of bills, and so on. So stay within your income levels, and you'll do fine. All right, and really the last one is, whatever way you want to invest, stick to it. Don't jump from investment to investment, because that's going to hurt you and it's going to confuse you. It's going to cause you to lose some money along the way. I've tried the penny stock thing. I tried learning about Forex. I never really got involved with Forex. And when you do stuff like that, it's going to really mess you up. It's going to cause you to lose some money, lose a lot of money. I bought a penny stock course, cost me about $5,000. I used it for about the next year, and I really didn't make any money at all. I might have made a little bit, but it didn't really help me out. So sometimes you'll have your losses, and you just got to learn from it. In any lesson you do, you got to learn from it. And if you don't learn from it, it's really going to hurt you, because the whole idea is not to do it. Make the same mistake twice. All right. But hey, that's really all I want to get out to you. I wanted to just quick, a little short, to the point, and answer that last question I had about how does an 18-year-old invest. All right. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'll try to do my best to help you out, answer any questions. But if you haven't already, make sure you like this video, subscribe, click the bell for notification, and I'll see you again this Friday with another passive income video. All right.